Who's next? I heard a laugh. That already sold it. I'm a sucker for humor. All right, this is my adopted daughter, JESS PTAK. You want to talk about literate? She even has a sheepskin to prove it. Gosh, I love her work. Come on, Jess.
All right, well, jumping off of that multiverse, universe, sovereignty, yet still in the collective, that's what this is about. So this isn't, it does have a title. This is the garden we make. And I always see this as, that's what we're doing. We're creating a garden, and we need each of us in the fullest blossoming and color in order for that garden to exist as it's intended to. I have been shown and I have been told this paradise, this great Eden of false forbiddens, the shame, the deepest lie, held tightly in our wombs, held caged within the hearts of men, in the webbing between the far-removed strangers. That what is paradise but a garden? What is an apple but an endless fruit? What is a garden without its flowers? We are not building a stone-walled fortress. We are not building a gated heaven of exclusivity. In the chest of us is a seed, a dark soil of no thing. And what grows from no thing is a flower, is a rose, is an unfolding, petaled love. What it gives in sustenance, what it gives in color, what it gives in fragrance, what it gives in medicinal apothecary prescription. This paradise is not of stone, but of open flowers, singing songs of red, of passion, of unfolding harmonics. And this is the garden we make. I don't like reading off my phone, but my printer is not working. Okay, this is new. Keep alive what lives. The Pakistani woman collects used grenades, planting fields of color in the empty space of war. Flowers dancing under the sun, singing, "You could not keep us from loving." And she, quiet, smiling softly to herself, with her lived-in hands holding each bulb packed with dirt. She knows what she creates. She knows what she saves. She knows what doesn't die. She knows what must. I think of interruptions. My son loves to read together on the front porch, and 5 words in, he asks me if I know snakes are dinosaurs, and have I seen any pterodactyls lately while walking through the woods. I tell him I have heard them call out, "I'll be careful, I'll get a photo if I can." We know what needs us. We know what to back away from. We know when the fire can burn itself into a hole in the ground. We know when to let it. We know some life won't stay. We know what's for the keeping alive. The persistence of petals, the seeds still falling while the system cinders. The grandmothers like books kept in the secret libraries, the grail sitting in the lifeline of their palms, the crying eagle, the sparkling eyes wondering if maybe an eagle isn't all it is. What I'm learning how to say. When I tell you, you are the greatest thing, it's that I'll always remember you as the sun itself on a sidewalk, while I held 3 lemons to my chest. When I tell you I am in love, big love, it's that I am standing inside of it, a home I didn't know I was building, where breathing is safe. I am dripping with it, a river I have surrendered myself into. When I tell you I'd rather not let you go, it's that I can if you have to leave, and I will without a fight. And I'd rather not. I'd rather create beauty with you and know life as a living music, and you as the color, and all that's between us as God. In a dream, I was walking in the night along the side of the tree-lined road. And you know how things are in the night where trees are involved. You can't see a thing except the feeling of movement from this moment to the next. The moon was shining against the asphalt on the determination of my breath. The men I have loved in every form trailed behind me asking, when will you stop? When will you turn around? And truly, we all know you can't stop a woman taking the path in the palm of the divine. So I have traveled far, it seems. But I have known where I was going when the air turned to ink and my eyes were of no use. I have heard the heart is a map of constellations and the sky lives inside the chest like the earth tells the truth through my skin. So I have traveled far without knowing I was walking to anywhere in particular, until I got here and felt my body soften like one does after the longest flight, the train and the foreign cars. My body is soft, my heart knows this place, and I am sure home feels like the rest of arrival, the anticipation of adventure, the safety of allowing it to be a beautiful surprise, better than what I could have planned for. The neighbor in front has the grass cut once a week. The family parks roadside and everyone has a job to do. The bees evicted to find new flowers. The snakes trailing back to hide in my weeds. I haven't cut much of anything this summer, between time and tools and the part about remembering to. In the mornings, I have coffee with a wolf spider on the porch. She has spun series of tunnels around a doll and her kitchen furniture, crawling out to plan our day under the new sun. I haven't seen an afternoon without a gathering of butterflies near the front window, a week without a feather left tucked under the back trees. The birds grow a family outside of my daughter's room, and the dawn becomes a music class. I am in no hurry to do away with what's busy being alive. Poetry is breathing. I am a guest inside of it, a belonging to this living landscape.
Bravo, nice. Bravo.
How to pray for my son. Walk up the stairs wrapped in a blue blanket. Trail it across the new sun the way the wood receives it, a warm painting on the grain. Place the blanket on the dreaming body of your mother. Get behind her and extend your heart through your hand against her still arm. Learn to write the word love. Think of every symbol constructed of the feeling. Fill the page with every symbol. Pluck each letter from the heart's garden, a flower asking to be held by your attention. Leave the purple paper near the books where the day's first gaze will land easy. Let it see the love. In the afternoon grass, feel the joy of your questions. Watch the winds dance. Invite a tree to speak. Hold your mother's hand. Declare this day the best it is.
Here, here.
My mouth has turned all soft and water-like. The fire moved from behind my teeth to somewhere down below the ribs. I'm holding flowers at my lips. My perfumed words wrap around the rain breeze and travel the bedroom walls. I am no dragon at the tongue. Not today, not now. I am petaled, breaking open to the storm, red and gentle at the edge. Where is my desire to devour you? There is none. I only want you at the long table. I only want to put food in front of you, to ask you to sit, to hear the long stories of your legs and hands and heart. I only want to see you now. This is the olive trees. One day I'll be she. If ever grief were to strike me from the middle of my back, splinter my ribs apart, it will. Let me sink into my own cave a while and touch the flesh I have been protecting. Let me sleep with the bats and chirp their songs until the flowers unfurl and break apart to the night. Until the sigh comes, the one always standing at the edge of the dark, the line between everything. I'll let my body grow soft where it wants. Let my tongue speak how it chooses, marry my heart to my hands, cook meals alongside my grandchildren, stand in a room with men who have lost all idea of what to do with me. And I will walk the dirty, empty road, laughing with the olive trees. It's a conversation with a spider. I didn't ask her to leave today. For once in my life, I didn't fear her legs or swiftness or potential to jump. I stood unmoving, an invitation in the middle of a waterfall while she held the tile. All this time, I have run before the conversation could begin. Who knew her voice was as silent as prayer, as ancient as the single harp string across the womb of the web? Thank you, I heard. I watched her labor sparkle. She had been capturing stars in the early morning. She had been keeping stories for the children, asking, now that you see me, it's likely you see yourself beyond your sight now. And doesn't it feel like hands full of ocean to know your own name, to birth what you do? How scary a thing so powerful must seem. On running. Through the grass, from the back, to the front, to the car, shivering, crying on the middle seat. Away from being witness, away from being too young to stop a hurt from happening. Into the streets of DC, my brother barely breathing. Away from what I couldn't control. Out of my body, out of my own throat, out of sound, away from his skin on mine. Let me tell you, I am afraid. I cannot control this. I have tried, I have run. To run is to leave everything I love. The sounds of the dawn, the music of the stream, whatever the trees have to say, the mountain, the rain, every small and daily place I meet with God. Let me tell you, I am afraid. Because I cannot control this. The passion, the cellular response, the knowing, the deep places I didn't know I held, the boundlessness I didn't know I could reach. To run is to leave everything I love. To run is to leave love. Okay. This is the last time I said I love you. Once as the pen hits the page, there is a pause here, so I could give back each syllable. Then, 10 minutes before, at the window in the kitchen, he said, "You're my favorite," and I think it's the truest time I have heard it. 20 minutes earlier at the road, the wind crawled under my shirt and we laughed at something we couldn't name. We said how we missed the orange paper flowers they knocked over with the weeds. I kissed her 3 times and said it twice, once to her ears, again to her eyes. Just now, through the blue front door, he slips in under the roots of each word, like this morning, against the pillow, before we felt today's sun. My son, my son, my son starts the day, and by 10, I had said I love you enough for all of summer. By tomorrow, the year will be anchored to the ground, each time like hearing God speak right to me, naming me like it's never been done before.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. These are all new.
These are all new.
God, what a quantum leap.
Okay, this is statistical phenomenon. I've read this before. This is what I share here in this poem is the anchor point in my entire life. The reason why I do anything that I do. Statistical phenomenon. He rolls his chair close to me, not far from my face. You know, he says, this is not your fault. He draws it, the heart. He uses one pen. He uses 4 different colors of ink. He draws arrows up and down. He draws lines. I become fluent in cardiology in under 3 minutes. He points. We call this a statistical phenomenon. Unfortunately, and his words disappear until he gives me a deadline for a decision. Let us know what you want. Let us know, think of what it means. I have counted chambers on a screen like a dancer counting steps, not keeping up. 2 are missing. I have counted bottles of medication and counted again and again just in case. I have counted hours in the night. I have counted doors and hallways to remember where to go. I have counted on someone else to make it better, easy, lighter, sweeter to swallow. Statistical phenomenon. A number, a percentage, an elevator, a lens cracked and sunken in on itself, a kaleidoscope with eyes that can't follow. My daughter stands at the window in the front of the house. July. It rains, it storms, the driveway catches thunder. The clouds are angry, I understand their language. She stands at the window with a blanket around her shoulders. She is laughing. She turns to say, Mommy, Mommy, look at how funny the sky is. Mommy, look at this music. Mommy, look at this magic day. Look at how the veins in the ground fill with water. Look at how the growling sky is a heartbeat for the trees. Look at how they bend for it. Look at how they reach. Look at how they catch tears, and then look at how they don't hold on. Statistical phenomenon. I give my decision. I say, yes, life it is. He tells me in his rolling chair, oh, you will see. He speaks of limitations. He is wrong, and I know this without knowing how just yet. My daughter stands at the window in the front of the house. We are laughing with the weather. We are wearing a pulse on the outside. We are here naming colors, writing stories, making names for ourselves. We are standing at the glass. We are looking at the music. We are counting flowers and birds and kisses. Statistical phenomenon. It turns out to be love. It turns out I want a heart just like hers.
Here, here. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Would it be all right if I shared something that's not necessarily a poem?
Why not?
So I came out with a new podcast just recently. It's called Holy Ground. And I won't get too much into it right now, but this is something I shared on the podcast, and I'd like to extend this to the audience, whoever's listening, and just let it land where it will. I have been deep in heart research. Like up until 4 a.m., even though I am solo mothering 3 kids, but I can't help but inhale all of this and play passionate games of cosmic connect the dots. No, not medical heart research, cosmic heart research. To truly understand, I'll have to go back to a little over 7 years ago, when my daughter Dakota was diagnosed in utero with a super rare congenital heart defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Dakota was born with half her heart, a single ventricle. It isn't something that can be fixed. It's something that can be worked with, something the rest of the body adjusts to in between and after the 3 required open heart surgeries, which she has had. After she was born, I was catapulted onto my own inner journey. I had no idea I would be here connecting these dots the way I am. All I wanted was to really live, to be alive while I'm alive, you know? To be completely intentional with my time, to never do a thing that didn't feel like yes inside and out, to treat myself like gold, talk to myself like the kindest friend, and to never ever tell myself I wasn't allowed to have my own dreams and path. 7 years, many, many changes. Last year, I was divinely led to learn about the heart. I am talking at least 20 different books from many different angles, other resources, random conversations with seemingly strangers, dream messages, intuitive insight, visions through poetry. Undeniable is the word. So is miraculous. Last year, I sat in a coffee shop and furiously wrote in my notebook single sentences filling up entire pages. What I am sharing below, you don't see it here, but what I'm sharing is a drawing I shared in November. So this drawing is it's a very creative stick person. And the stick person has a heart, and shining by way of arrows illustrated, from the back of this heart space is divine love, right? You can't see it, but it's the fabric of existence. And in it comes through the heart, and out it shines in the multitude of ways that we express love with one another. And whether that's through your art, whether that's through the conversation that you have from day to day, how you move through your life is how that love shines out through the prism of your heart. And I felt as though the human heart is a divine prism that we carry, and when we are truly heart-centered and not using it as a marketing tool or a buzzword or a trendy thing to say, when we are anchored and rooted in the body while claiming our divine origin, we quite literally paint each other with rainbows. On this night, I had been reading a beautiful paper, another synchronous find on the sacred geometry of the heart. And in this paper, it says that as the light shines through the heart, as it is geometrically, breaks the light into 7 rays of color, that a rainbow appears in the sky of our soul. Trembling and in tears because divine knowing is real, and we can trust ourselves and our gifts. It is real. Everything is with purpose. Everything. The greatest rabbit hole you will ever dive down into is the one of your own life path and journey up until this point. To make peace, to reconcile, to appreciate, to know yourself as holy ground. My goddess and God, you are holy ground. You are holding the holy sacred temple within you. Imagine 7 colors. I am certain it's holding every note of the scale, and you in alignment, anchored in that beautiful space of human and divine integration, are singing the soul song that your spectacular heart was innately designed to sing. Oh, and that is how destiny can hear you. How beautiful you are. How divinely designed you are from the very beginning, and you have never had to look away from your own chest.